about to do a podcast. No big deal. What are you doing?
Nothing. Happy day. Episode 265. Here we are. How are you?
I'm doing real well because guess what I caught a pic of on my way over here, Suze?
I don't believe it.
The long requested picture.
Demanded,
dare I say.
Yeah.
Picture of the goat walker.
Let me see.
Goat walker, plural. Goats walker.
The goats walker.
Yes.
Can I see it?
Yes.
For real?
Also, update.
Yeah.
Not a man walking that goat.
Different. You mean different
No,
person?
I think same. I think I just didn't take a good peek. And then she seemed, almost ran the goats over trying to take a picture of them because they were like crossing the street.
Right.
I was arriving at a different time, so it's very obvious that they walk from 2 o'clock to 1 o'clock, or 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I caught them on the trail end of the walk, like going back into the neighborhood.
That's so cute.
This woman definitely knew I was taking a picture of her goats.
No.
Definitely waved.
She probably...
And then I had to turn down into a neighborhood to get this picture. There was a dead end, so then I had to come back. But don't worry, because along the way, I saw something else exciting, a peacock in the middle of the road. I got so many fun pictures in your neighborhood, Suze. Let me show you.
This is so great.
There's a peacock.
Okay.
Uh-huh. And then don't think I didn't get the goats on a leash.
Oh, yeah, that does resemble a man.
Yeah.
Like at first blush.
Yeah, and I've only ever seen her from the back, so...
Okay, wait, and that's 2 goats?
It's 2 goats on
Wait,
leashes.
when did she wave, though? Not in the picture.
Well, right before I took the picture and then right after I took the picture. And then definitely again when I was coming back around, she's like, yeah, I know what you were turning in here for.
I'm
No
sure she
other
gets
need.
a lot.
Right, I figured. So she just looked very excited,
She probably
too.
wants, they don't even need to be walked, I bet.
Right.
Like, they hate the walk.
Yeah.
They're the
she's got,
opposite
like, a
of
huge
dogs.
backyard.
Right.
Yeah,
like,
what if they hated the walk?
Yeah, like when she spells it, when you do with a dog, and they still know and they get excited.
W-A-L-K.
They're like, damn it, not again.
They're like, ugh, this lady.
Right.
Yeah.
But do you think that they're like brother and brother? Are they boys even?
I don't know. I'll have to take a look at the udders.
Right.
Wait, do boy goats have udders? No. Like...
Just the gals. They just have one udder, you know what I mean?
Oh, I see. But, like, you know how, like, boys have nipples?
Yeah.
So, like, do male goats
I do not think.
have a little...
Because
no.
think about cows.
Right. Male
Right.
cows don't have that.
I
I know very little about livestock is what I'm learning. Like, very little.
Was it? I don't think it's your phone. I don't think it's my phone that's making this
Yeah, there's
noise. That
definitely
our
a noise.
audience is probably checking their equipment.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's just... What is
that? I'm on airplane mode.
What
so.
if we're, like, we've been tapped by home... By the way, that totally reminds me. You know how... Are you on LinkedIn?
Not
You
really.
are. We're actually connected.
I am, but I don't go on until I have a... Because I don't
it's
update
good
my
times on
resume
there.
yet.
Yeah.
It's like a whole thing, so I don't...
I do know you're on there because we're connected, but I check it every week, and I got a thing that said, like, each week it'll say you appeared in so many number of searches or so many these people have been looking at your profile. Yes. One of them was Homeland Security.
No.
Yes.
You? Oh my
Do you
God.
think it's my Twitter?
I bet it is.
It must be.
It must be. Susie.
Unless somebody that works for them is a brainiac.
Which would also be awesome.
That would, but not likely. We're not really the type that the people at Homeland Security would listen to, I would think.
Wow, I bet it's your tweets.
If you work at Homeland Security and you've been stalking my LinkedIn, let me know, Brainiac, because I would like to talk to you about Homeland Security.
I got a request for Kellyanne to, like a connection request from
Kellyanne.
Yes. This morning I woke up to it. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I haven't even opened it or anything. You know how they can, like, request, like, connections?
From
I
the
don't know.
challenge.
Yes.
The woman that blocked us.
Yes.
Okay.
This morning.
What does she want?
I don't know.
And why
Clearly
is
to be
she
connected on LinkedIn. What if she's looking for me for like a reference?
I cannot imagine that she is the kind of person that would be very active on LinkedIn, considering I don't think she has. Maybe that's why she's on there.
Yeah. There you
Good
go. night.
I don't know why that makes me mad. Well, yes, I do. Are you going to be connected then?
Well, I don't know.
You got to think about it.
I feel like once I open up the Pandora's box of like going on LinkedIn, that I'm going to actually have to like update my profile and do all that stuff and get a.
You will have to do that, by the way.
Well, eventually, yeah.
Yeah.
But I want to like make sure I'm like, I don't know, through school and have all the stuff that I can add to my resume completed.
Right.
You know?
Okay. Well, let me know when you do that.
Yeah, I will.
How about how
Pass it along to employers or something or what?
right? No, I just like want to see what happens
Yeah.
to your profile.
I'm going to hire somebody
Like
to
a
do my
before.
resume.
What?
Yeah.
What
Like
do
one
you-
of those services where you like give them, here's the deal and
Why?
here's the...
Why don't you want to do it?
Because that's like not my jam. Like I'm not good at that stuff.
Really?
Like I know what I know and I know that I'm not good at that.
Well, do you in your field? Is it like a traditional resume or is it like a specific format? You know.
Specific format, and there are a lot of like I think I don't know, just I have so much stuff, you know. I want to be able to whittle it down to the goods, just the good stuff that you know.
Right.
I heard these people existed.
No,
you know.
they do, but the reason I inquire is because, like, in academia, it's so formulaic, the template, that you'd be wasting your money paying someone to do it, because it's almost like fill in the, like, you got this, and then you published this, and you spoke here, and then it isn't like a normal resume where you have to kind of, like, figure out how to word it, or, you know, it's more black and white.
Even thinking about which kind it is, I'm already like, I have no idea. I don't even want to do that.
You don't want to be involved?
No, I don't want to be involved. Just
Wow.
freaking hire me.
All right. Well, that could happen too. I mean, you might not even need it.
That would be nice.
How about how I was watching this video about Twinsburg, you know, when they have twin days.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, of course, I was like, oh, it's funny. I'm watching this right after I saw the three identical strangers.
You're on a twin kick.
Yeah, like accidentally. But anyway, it was super cute. I really recommend it because it was really well shot. And it is just, I guess, a human feeling of like you enjoy looking at twins weirdly.
I want to know. I'm fascinated by them.
Well, okay, so that video in particular was lighthearted and was just sort of exploring that weird connection that multiples have that we can never really understand. And one of them touched on the idea of how, like, from a very young age, people make such a fuss about it when they're around you that then it, like, compounds whatever you feel already, and then it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. Like, you're the twins, and do you dress alike? People have a lot of questions. And so I do wonder, like, to what extent that is, you know, a genetic connection versus, like, this weird thing that how we behave around twins affecting how they see themselves.
I think that connection is real and strong.
I think it's real. I just wonder if it's, like, what do you call it? Like, exacerbated or whatever.
Maybe it's more like, you know, kind of like if you were born and somebody told you your whole life that you were psychic, you would probably hone those skills to be psychic a little more, or maybe just kind of like feel things because I don't know, you're already expected to.
Yeah.
So maybe it's kind of like that with the twins, where it's almost like tuning into like a radio station and the signal's a little stronger if you get the reinforcement your whole life. Versus, well, you know, it'd be interesting is to see like twins in different cultures, like if it's, you know, looked at differently in different cultures. Is it?
Oh, like I bet in some it's considered like magical or something,
or the opposite, or you know, it's got to have some, you know, all those things too.
Yeah. Although now I think because of the fertility thing and how it's more common, I don't know if that's as true. In terms of like the magical component.
I feel like twins are popping up everywhere.
They are.
Like
even
crazy.
In Lincoln's class, there's a set of twins and a set of triplets.
Whoa, triplets?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine?
I think it's very, you know, more commonplace now because of the fertility treatments, especially in affluent communities.
Yeah.
But it's still a big deal, and the kids is still fascinated by it because it's just kind of freaky. Especially they're all the same gender.
Yeah.
and look alike.
I'm dying for some twins.
Yeah.
That is just I don't know why. I feel like they would be like psychic and witchy.
Yeah. They fit into your new
Totally.
your new theme.
My new coven.
Sarah says that in our Q&A this week, she said that hold on a minute. We had some tech issues there.
Yep,
we're back in business. No, but like you were saying during our Q&A that you have this new policy that you like are only I keep thinking about it too. You only want to be a witch for Halloween forevermore.
Forevermore, and maybe not just on Halloween.
But do you want to be like the same witch or like different versions of it? Any witch?
Could be different versions. Just, we'll see how it evolves.
What about this year?
Definitely a witch, and I even announced it. I mean, I told Landon, I was like,
but which kind?
Like
green, or
definitely
Glinda?
like green witch style. Yeah.
Traditional.
Yeah, like traditional, like Stevie Nicks-y, Mm-hmm. Yeah. And like I was super into it, and then Landon the other night was like, so like you're going to be a witch like for forever for Halloween. Like, what am I supposed to be this year? I was like, I don't know, find your own costume. He's like, well, I could be like a warlock. And I was like, okay, but you won't have any of the powers. No big deal.
Loser. Well, some people, when they have Halloween, they just go all out and then they drink too much. And I mean, if you are going to do that,
yeah,
I feel like just be ready and hydrate a bit.
Yeah.
With liquid IV.
That would be my witchy advice to you. Hydrate.
That's your potion.
That's my potion.
That's
so hilarious.
Liquid IV is this really cool little packet of electrolyte magic drink mix potion that you can put into your water, and it basically hydrates you at 2 to 3 times the rate that a normal just bottle of water would. It gets into your bloodstream faster, so it's more efficient, and it has vitamins in it. And so, like, if you're traveling, if you're drinking a little bit too much, if your kids are out playing soccer, they'll love the different flavors too. Lincoln's getting into his. And it's just great because people don't get enough water. I've been complaining about this recently, and I'm going to be taking some on my airplane travel coming up as well because you always need it. I love Liquid IV. I know you will too. My husband loves it even more than me. He steals all of it. Right now, our listeners get 20% off at liquid-iv.com when you use our code BRAIN at checkout. That's 20% off anything you order on Liquid IV's website. Go to liquid-iv.com and enter promo code BRAIN to get your savings and start getting better hydration. That's liquid-iv.com, promo code BRAIN. Don't wait. Get hydrated today. Okay, so the twins thing is really cool. I'll put the video in the newsletter because it's fun to watch. It's fun to see how invested the twins seem in the twin identity.
Oh, do they have any of the twins in there that don't like being twins?
Well, they.
Oh my God, that reminds me of the silent. That the twins when one killed the other one, but like with their mind. Oh my God.
Yeah, they're the extreme other. Example,
go back and listen to that episode of the podcast if you haven't yet.
It's spooky.
Oh, spooky! Adam stole our soundboard because it was making funny noises.
That's what the crackle was.
Yep.
Yeah, it's super spooky.
Man. 'Cause I would imagine that would suck if you really couldn't have your own identity.
In this video, they all said they felt bad for people who weren't twins. It's a built-in best friend. You're never bored. You feel like you have another person of you that can relate to everything. Must be a really nice thing, but I would imagine it would be real terrible.
Were they all same gender?
Yeah, these people in the video were.
Yeah, I wonder if it's different if you're...
Right. I'm sure it's not quite the same.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Okay, so then that video ended, and then you know how sometimes like a next autoplay? Yep. And this was on the Atlantic site. And the next video was... this woman who had just found out she had been a twin. She was adopted. And it was made by the same guy that made 3 Identical Strangers. What? And the reason she found out was through that film.
Oh, my God.
Because she was born in 1964. Same
area.
Adoption
oh, my
agency.
Gosh. So
I forget the name
saw
of
the
it.
movie and then went out and... Oh, my God.
She saw the film and then did a DNA test. And then found the match.
Oh,
and the woman was her twin sister. And so this on camera was them meeting for the first time. Oh my God.
Okay, tell me everything.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. I'm like having all the feels.
Yeah. I mean, you could really just put yourself in their shoes, because Three Identical Strangers is so entertaining.
Yeah.
But it was a retrospective where this was in real time. Like, this is the first time they're meeting, and what that must be like. And it's a little awkward.
Yeah.
They don't quite know what to say.
Oh my God.
But you look identical.
That would be so weird.
And you just think they were like comparing body parts.
Oh my gosh, I'm getting chills everywhere.
Right?
Because that would look the same.
They were comparing their hands and their arms and their eyes. And it was just really, they were saying how screwed up it is, because their adoption records showed that they weren't adopted until they were 5 months old, which to me means, and it was 2 days apart. So I think they were together for 5 months.
Of course they were. They were. That's so messed up.
Can you imagine?
Oh my God.
And I bet
The
you would
trauma.
like try to go in your mind and be like, can I remember? You know, obviously
Yeah.
you're only a little baby, but
Yeah.
you think, do I have this connection? I mean, I couldn't believe that I was watching it.
I think, like, if somebody just took a sibling away that wasn't a twin, and how devastating that would be.
Right. Just that.
And they don't even, they probably always had a feeling that something was, or like there was a hole. Did she talk about it at all?
No, they didn't say anything about that. And it didn't seem like that. The one goes, we really missed out on twin popularity. High school would have been a lot better. Just sort
yeah.
of superficial stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm sure of later, once you absorb this is what went on, right. I'm sure there
Put some
are
pieces
deeper
together.
thoughts.
One of my favorite things from the whole movie, the Three Invisible Strangers, was identical.
Yeah.
Three Identical Strangers. Was one of them needed an appendicitis, like his appendix removed,
Yeah.
and he didn't have insurance.
Right.
So he went in there and said he was the other guy who did have insurance, and he got his appendix removed or some body part.
Right.
Like surgery
And
on
they
the other
were
guy's
like,
insurance.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
the other guy
You won't need it someday down the road. Because they'll be like, we already took that out.
Can
No,
you
that
just
was my
have a
brother.
look again?
I think it grew back.
I bet you that happens a lot.
Why wouldn't you do that?
Right.
I mean,
Well,
yeah.
because it's a felony.
So, well, I mean, yeah, but like,
Well,
because it's a felony. Okay, I guess.
Sarah, you're like, oh, Susie's a stickler
Right,
for the
right.
rules.
So speaking of magical powers, this is like a really weird one that I ran across
Right.
in. I think it's
You're
in.
getting weird. It's so funny to
Why?
watch because you're becoming witchy, and
Oh,
it
yeah.
is like a real thing that you're doing.
It's for real.
All right. We'll talk
But this
about-
is like a little less witchy than that. This 8-year-old girl in, where was she? She's somewhere in like the Netherlands. Oh, Sweden. Pulled a sword out of a lake.
yeah.
Like an ancient medieval
right.
sword, like Excalibur style.
Yeah.
And then in the same article, it was like, this isn't even the first time this has happened.
No.
Then last year,
Yes.
just like from the exact same lake that the Excalibur sword was said to be thrown into.
Yeah.
Basically, women are taking over, and like the little girls' names, let me just tell you what their names are. The first one who pulled out the Excalibur sword, Matilda. Has there ever been a more witchy name than Matilda ever? And the other girl's name, Saga. I'm like, these are basically,
Yeah.
just let them run everything.
Destiny.
Yeah. And people are like, just because a girl pulled, we shouldn't change, like, you know,
What?
the rulers of the native, like, people are like, oh, we should put her in charge. She's probably like the next king or the next or queen, you know.
What do you think is the explanation for why they're in this particular?
I have no clue. And
I'm
they don't,
sure there's a
the
reason.
researchers don't even know. They said that one lake, in Norway Sweden had never really been explored. And they found a brooch from the same time period in there. So they found a whole bunch of other stuff from that same time period.
That is
Like, what the heck is at
bonky.
the bottom of lakes? And what's going on that unearthed that all of a sudden? Like, she's not the first kid to play in and around the lake.
Yeah. Well, maybe they were like, you know, almost concreted into the bottom, and then maybe there was an earthquake or,
yeah,
some sort
yeah.
of situation.
Isn't that crazy, though?
Yeah.
I love that.
Do you think they get to keep it or what?
Oh my God, good point. Like, fine. Oh, okay.
Probably not.
So there are rules on this, but I only know them as they pertain to the ocean. Flopsome and gypsum.
Okay.
And they're things that can be thrown overboard. So it's like buried treasure and what you're allowed to keep.
Yeah, what's the rules?
If somebody threw it overboard, if the ship was sinking and the crew or whoever was on board physically threw it overboard to try to like bail out the ship, then they still claim ownership. And I think that's called flopsome. Mm-hmm. And then the other one where the entire ship goes down and it's still like on board, but you find the wreckage is the one that you're allowed to keep.
That's the one.
Yeah.
You
or
would think
it's
it would be
vice versa. I should check.
Oh my God.
Oh no, it's vice versa. You're allowed to keep the one they throw overboard. But I should double check. This is why we need our Google fact checker.
Oh Lord, that's funny. Okay. Well,
one of them you can keep and one of them you can't keep.
Well, one thing I'm definitely keeping is my TiVo, which I have set up and am now enjoying thoroughly because it is not your grandma's TiVo.
I can't stop thinking about the fast forward through the slow parts. And I can't stop watching TV shows where I'm like, oh my gosh, I really wish I had that little button to click to like, come on.
Yes.
Let's go. Let's get this.
A lot of people have cut the cord and said like they don't think they need cable anymore. Yeah. And, we watch all the Netflix, stuff like that. Yeah. So whether you're one of those people or whether you have cable still, TiVo has really great features that will help you enjoy your show of choice. Basically, it's a complete home TV experience, live TV, DVR, and streaming. Device in one lets you access everything you love on screen. You can skip over entire commercials, so you don't have to fast forward or anything. And you can do it with voice command. So it's just like, skip, and then there you go. And then as Sarah said...
I wish I could say that in conversation sometimes.
Skip! Next! Or, as Sarah said, you can watch shows 30% faster, like if there's a boring period, but you still want to see it. And then they pitch correct the sound so you can still understand what they're saying. They don't sound like weirdos. They put together a deal for our listeners, too. They're offering 20% off any TiVo Bolt OTA or TiVo Bolt Vox. Just head over to TiVo.com/BrainCandy20 and remember promo code BrainCandy20. That's TiVo.com/BrainCandy20 with promo code BrainCandy20 for 20% off. So whether you're one of those antenna people or cable people, they have something for you. Oh, that is really weird about the treasure, though. Because you know how there are, like, off like, North Carolina and South Carolina, there are treasures.
Really?
Yeah, and, like, people go scuba, and try to get it. And I think they're not allowed.
Oh, okay.
So they must be the gypsum or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know, but, like, of course you're still going to try.
Absolutely.
Because it's millions of dollars. It's not like 50 cents down there.
And, you never know what people have... like lose. I go right back to Kim Kardashian and how she lost her huge gigantic engagement
was that
or
never
whatever.
recovered?
No, her earrings. I don't think or something. It was either earrings or
it was an earring.
Never recovered. There's like a 10-carat diamond at the bottom of.
That's crazy.
Somebody should definitely. It's worth it to sift through all that.
Yeah, because if you could scuba.
Yeah.
It's like the opposite of those. Those people with the metal detectors at the beach.
Yeah.
What are they doing?
We can ask Chet Cannon. He was really big on that for a long time.
What? Sarah?
I swear. Why are you looking at me like I'm making this up? I promise.
What do you mean, though, big on it?
Like, he went out every weekend searching for stuff. For, like, whatever you find with... Probably Kim Kardashian's ring.
Was this when you lived with him?
No, this was afterwards when he moved to California. Because, you need
How do you know about it?
Because he took pictures and told me.
And what was he excited about finding?
I don't think he found much.
But, like, I'm sorry I have a lot of questions.
This is great.
But, like, what were the pictures of then?
Ooh, they were of him posing with it. We'll have to look back in his Twitter account to or our Instagram feed to check it out. I'll do that.
And he didn't think that was lame.
I think that's right. I think he's like the kid who wore a briefcase or carried a briefcase in high school, like ironically,
or not,
or something, So I think it's part of his. It's like it's on brand for him.
Would you consider Chet your friend? And I don't mean to put you on the spot.
Oh,
I'm just curious, like
it would.
How we're defining
it's different.
friend
I think it's different now. Yeah.
I
think it's
It's a legacy friend.
It's a legacy friend.
I have some of those.
That's a good thing to say. But it would be difficult for me to hang out with him now in this certain political climate, knowing what where he stands. And
yeah, you don't have a lot in common.
Yeah.
But didn't he go to the GLAAD Awards with you?
Yes, he did.
And did he enjoy that? Or?
It seemed like he enjoyed it.
Is he pro-LGBT rights?
Ooh, another question I don't really know the answer to.
That really wasn't the right venue for him.
I think he might be pro-winning awards.
Aren't we all?
Right. So which is stronger?
I'll tell you what,
your desire to win or your...
Well, I tell you, if let me think of it. If the KKK was offering me an award...
Sorry, pass. Hard pass. Give it to the next runner-up.
I mean, I would have to question a lot of my life choices, A, and B, I would not go to the ceremony.
Correct.
That's just me, though. Any hoodles. I didn't know you were going to bring up Chet when I brought up metal detectors. So I
feel like it's hard not to, knowing what I know.
I mean, have you ever been tempted by things like that?
Metal detectors?
Just sort of finding treasure.
Kind of. Yeah, when I was a little kid, I was all about... and little girls go through this phase, especially little girls. It's very strong. From the age of about 4 to 6, somewhere in that period, there's almost this like pre-nesting thing where little girls will collect stuff. And oftentimes it's little rocks and they like collect it and they'll hide it in their rooms. And moms all over the place have, backed this up and said, "Oh my God, my daughter did that. Oh, I did that.
What is it?
I did that." I mean, from what I've heard, it's like a nesting thing. Like it's kind of like it goes along with the playing house age, like little dolls and stuff like that. But it's interesting. There's like a desire to collect things that are.
It's like the crows.
Or it's like hunting and gathering. Maybe it's just like that, like old
gathering
stuff from way back in your.
That is weird.
But now I think back, and I totally did that, and I kind of didn't stop doing that. I still collect rocks and sand.
I don't know if you know the data on this, but are women are they hoarders more than men?
Oh my gosh, I don't know.
I bet they are.
Yeah. Oh gosh, that's a really good question.
Because that would make sense.
I think the type of hoarding is different.
Yeah.
One's
crafts.
Yes.
And one's crap.
Yeah.
Like
literally. Yeah.
Right. You're probably right about that.
Maybe like mechanical stuff, more of like the fixie stuff. Like guys have the garages with...
And the freaking junkyards with cars.
Yes. That's your male hoard, and female hoard is like the craft
yarn
world and yarn
the
and
yarn
glitter
barn.
and the yarn barn. Oh my God, stop. Yeah.
And glitter.
Yeah.
At least it's pretty.
Yeah.
Okay. Man. The next thing I want to talk about. How about how I'm having this weird, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a midlife crisis where
so subtly. No big deal.
Where I am obsessed with my hometown.
Oh my God.
What is that?
You know what that is? That's homesickness.
Oh.
Suze.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you know why I think you're feeling it especially strong? Because the seasons are changing there and not here. And so you're getting a reminder of, like, it's almost like you're getting a double reminder of the things that you miss. So not just like your friends and family and relationships. You've talked a lot about the food recently from Pittsburgh. And the weather and how like it transitions to fall, and we don't really get that over here. So you're kind of like, what do you think?
I mean, it might be. Like, I bumped into this guy who had on, like, I think it was a Pittsburgh Penguins hat, and then his shirt was Steelers. And this happens all the time, by the way. Like, this is a common thing.
One of every team.
And then the back of his shirt said Steel Curtain, which was the 70s defense. That's the nickname for their defense, the Steel Curtain. And he had a big beard. He looked like one of those Duck Dynasty guys. And I was like, Adam, get the camera. I got to get a picture with him. And he was like, okay. And then I went over. And usually, if you were to meet somebody from Pittsburgh and you're not in Pittsburgh, it's a big deal.
You have like a secret handshake or
it's
cheer
a whole
or something
thing.
you guys do?
And he's clearly representing.
Clearly.
So I was like, are you from Pittsburgh? And he was like, yep. And I'm like, what part? And he was like McKees Rocks. And that's legit Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And I thought we were going to bond, and he was having none of it.
What?
And he didn't even ask me if where I was from or anything. So then I didn't take a picture.
You didn't offer it up like, hey, I'm from Pittsburgh too. I miss it
think
so
in
much.
the end I was
blah,
like,
blah, blah.
oh, I'm from Ross Township or whatever, and he was just like, okay.
Oh.
And he's like, I don't get back much. The last time I was back was when my mom died, and then I go, oh, how was that? And he goes, it was rainy.
Oh my gosh. Oh, if that isn't an avoidance of the emotion, I don't know what it is. What is?
Like,
how hilarious.
Anyway, I just wanted you
he
to
bottles
analyze.
things up. Yeah. I bet he's the explosive type too.
He was real quiet though.
Yeah. Oh, real quiet right now because he's keeping all of it in, and I bet he's just the type to explode.
Sarah.
Your takeaway from your mother's funeral was that it was rainy? Ooh.
I think
Unless
I
you're the
am
weatherman.
homesick though, and it does help that I have my homesick candle from Pittsburgh because I can burn it and think about, because it smells like maple, which is just right. And homesick candles have every state in the U.S. and they have a bunch of cities, and then they have a bunch of stuff.
I love camp.
Did you burn it yet?
One? Mm-hmm.
I wondered if it was
It's great.
Do you think it evokes
Yeah.
that?
Yep, it sure does.
Let me see what
It's like
did
woodsy.
Did we already read what the camp one smells
campfire-y.
like? Let me see what it says.
It's got like pine, citrus.
Fresh green grass, crystal clear lake water, blooming hyacinth, fresh lemon and smoke.
Oh, lemon. That's probably the citrus I'm smelling. And the
Yes.
smoke is like campfire.
That's
I thought there would be
cool.
more pine or something in there. Maybe it's just trees I'm smelling.
Yeah.
The fresh cut grass.
Right.
Yeah.
They have Friday night football. They have books, which I always think is so cool. Somebody wrote, okay, but are they old books or new books? I was
Oh,
like,
fair question. Old books.
Anyway.
Kind of like your overall library feel.
Yes.
Smell.
Yeah, if you walked into a library. Anyway, they are really nice and they make great gifts. I personally just like them for myself even because, like Sarah noted, I'm having a problem with being homesick. These burn for 60 to 80 hours, so they last a really long time. If you go to homesick.com, you can find every single one of the 50 United States candles, plus dozens of classic U.S. cities, popular countries of the world, shipped direct to you and your family or friends in just days. Right now, our listeners get free shipping plus $10 off when you buy 2 or more candles. Visit homesick.com and use our code BRAINCANDY. That's homesick.com and use BRAINCANDY. Okay. What was I? Oh, yeah, Pittsburgh. Anyway, by the time this airs, I will have been there, and hopefully we'll have, dealt with that, whatever the hell that is.
I did a quick search of what are some signs of being homesick.
What do you got?
Constantly thinking about home. Anxiety. Decreased motivation.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. How's your motivation?
It's like the same as always. I have a problem
You're pretty
there.
You're pretty good in that area. Irritability.
Yeah.
Loneliness.
Interesting.
Missing people, things, and places associated with home. A negative outlook.
Yeah. I mean, and I just feel like, should I have moved? Did I do the wrong thing?
Well, you know what my answer to that is.
And although funnily enough, this weekend it was 86 degrees there.
Wow.
That's crazy to me. In October, forget it.
Well, I can make you feel better and tell you that there are a few things you can do to lift your mood while you're feeling homesick.
Yeah.
You can realize that homesickness is a normal feeling. And you can talk about your feelings with friends and family. And post pictures and things from your home in your house.
Really?
So, more things that represent Pittsburgh at your home, maybe some pictures, things like that.
Is this helpful?
Yeah. And I think that's something a lot of people have felt or struggle with, especially when you get relocated for a job or something like that, or maybe going to school in a different state.
Yeah.
This is a real thing.
I think it's hard, though, to sift out whether, do I miss Pittsburgh or do I miss the people or do I miss the cost of living?
Oh, maybe a little bit of
or
that.
something. What is it? And that can be hard, when it's you. You think, I don't even know which thing it is that I'm yearning for.
Yeah.
But it's just an interesting thing I'm sure a lot of people deal with when they have to move for whatever reason.
Yeah, social withdrawal is also another one of the...
What's that?
If you withdraw socially, like being more kind of introverted or kind of keeping to yourself more is
It's a symptom.
sign or symptom of being homesick, which kind of then is compounding.
Yeah.
And it plays,
It's a circle.
Yeah, so maybe you'd feel less homesick if you worked on social connections locally,
Yeah.
but then feeling homesick makes you not want to do those things.
Right.
Good thing we went to that comedy show the other
It's
night.
like how they say, like depressed people should exercise and whatever. And it's the last thing that you want to do when you're depressed is like, oh, I'm going to go for a freaking hike. Yeah.
No.
Forget it.
Right.
Okay. I thought you would enjoy that there was an article in the Atlantic about the rise and fall of the bad joke, which was "That's what she said."
Oh my gosh.
It was so funny.
So good.
And it had a graph of like when its popularity.
Yes. When did it peak?
It peaked in 2010.
Okay.
And like it's just a straight peak, like it's a mountain peak.
Yeah.
And
It didn't go up. There wasn't a little like uptick with the Office.
maybe minimally. Well, that was during The Office.
Oh, it was 2010 that's what she said was at its peak?
Yeah.
Oh.
I guess enough people had heard it, and then it became a cultural thing outside of even The Office.
Oh my God.
So that's when it peaked.
So really Michael Scott was right in line with social trends of that being popular.
I think that's why it was popular, is what it's saying.
Okay.
And it was talking about how, like, the joke isn't funny. Like, it's only funny because The Office was parodying a boss that tells bad jokes.
Right.
And so...
It's so good.
And then it talked about how Steve Carell lamented how people started using it as, like, conversational croutons, like, even when it didn't apply.
Oh,
And he
yeah, I don't
didn't
like when
that.
they do that. Somebody dropped it the other day, and I was like, not.
It wasn't.
That's not
Why?
Because it
It didn't apply?
wouldn't. Yeah, it wouldn't be what she would say.
She wouldn't say that.
She wouldn't say that.
And then it funnily enough, in the article, it said that this sort of bad joke has existed forever, and that there's even an example in Anglo-Saxon codex from the 11th century.
Oh my God, tell me everything.
Here's the joke. What hangs at a man's thighs and wants to poke a hole that it has often poked before? A key.
Uh-huh. Okay, I
So
get it.
the
But you
bad
think it's a penis.
Right. And it's like poke, hole, hanging between his thighs. Those are all like to make the double entendre,
Yeah.
whatever. And then it's a key. Ha ha. Terrible joke. They probably knew it was a bad joke then.
Man,
But
has subject matter even changed? Not one little bit. Our best joke on this whole entire show was our bag of dicks joke. It's not, we can't even.
that's false. The best joke was Al Bundy.
Oh, that was good.
I wonder
When
what
I thought it was
episode
Ted
that
Bundy,
was.
and it was really Al Bundy.
All of you encyclopedic brainiacs out there, can you figure out when the Al Bundy joke was? I need to
Ted
re-listen
Bundy,
to
Al
that.
Bundy
Mix up.
The great mix up.
And that's not, you do not want to mix those two up.
Oh gosh.
Have you ever used "That's What She Said" in conversation?
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
100%.
And
I have two that I love. That's What She Said. But more than that, I love a blanker. I hardly know her. Like, however, and like that one I'll use in like whatever, anything that ends with I'm
Absolutely.
definitely going to
yeah, I support
poker. I hardly know her.
that. Liquor.
Every time it's funny.
It is.
Oh my God. This reminds me. I once said that's what she said in class.
No.
Yes, and it was one of my greatest moments, and I regret nothing. It was so hilarious. This is how it happened. Okay, so we were all sitting down, and we were trying to, it was some writing class or English class or something like that, where we were coming up with this was very early in college, and we were coming up with like a thesis sentence for, a sample thesis sentence for a essay or something.
Yeah.
And somebody, he was having us break into groups and figure them out, and then we would write them on the board, like what our group came up with. And so one group, they write theirs up on the board, and he has them read it out loud, and they read it. And as soon as he was done, he goes, "It's good, but it's kind of a mouthful." And I went, "Oh, that's what she said." And everybody started slow clapping.
Well, okay.
I was like, That's so good.
I know you, so I know that you didn't think about like, should I or shouldn't I? You had to do it. That was compulsive.
Compulsion. This was pre-ADHD medication. I can't even be blamed.
Right. But then once you said it, what I wonder is, was there ever a thought of,
oh, I shouldn't have said that?
I might get in trouble. Like the
Absolutely.
professor could find that offensive.
Yeah, except he was super hot and young, and I was like, I can probably talk my way out of this.
Right. What do you think that your brain would have stopped you if it had been a woman or an old man or whatever, whoever might be offended?
Question. No, I would have whispered it quieter.
You still would have said it.
Really, sometimes I think I need to position myself in class with a barrier of like empty desks around me so that I don't disturb my classmates because I cannot not say the joke. Like sometimes they just set me up for it, and I'm like, I'm only human. What am I supposed to do with an opening like that?
What would you say that is in
ADHD.
You? Oh,
100%.
Why?
It's impulsivity. I'm very impulsive, and I happen to also be quick. With a little. I think I'm funny.
Yeah.
So that's a bad combination.
Or highly profitable, depending on your career. Yeah. I mean, you've done well with that.
Yes, working so far.
Okay.
So I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to get better in class about making sure I sit next to people who either also think that it's funny or
surround
sit next to
yourself
nobody.
with a good audience.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I don't have a good segue, which is really disappointing. And I'm sickened by it. But I'm also sickened by the interest rates on some credit card. What do you call them? Credit cards.
Period.
That makes me mad because you get the bill and you're like, what, the devil? And it's just because the interest rate is so high. And I've been there many times where I had no idea. You think it's like a good deal. Or like where they have those introductory periods and then you're like, what happened? When the 6 months was up and then you're like, go broke?
That's what she said.
What?
I don't know.
Oh my God. I was like, am I off my game? But you could roll all of your credit card debt into one monthly payment if you so choose at a lower fixed interest rate through Lightstream. Lightstream offers credit card consolidation loans from 5.89% APR with auto pay. It's lower than the average credit card interest rate of over 18%.
Oh my God. That's awful.
You can get a loan from $5,000 to $100,000 and with funds being given to you as soon as the day you apply. I looked at the application, checked it all out, recommended it to a family member. She used it, saving a bundle now. The application is simple. It doesn't take a lot of time. And they plant a tree with every loan they fund, which is so cute. That. Our listeners get a special discount on top of Lightstream's already low rates. The only way to get the discount is to go to lightstream.com/braincandy, lightstream.com/braincandy. Subject to credit approval. Rate includes a 0.50 autopay discount. Terms and conditions apply, and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/braincandy for more information. I love a good deal. I love saving money.
Who's like, nah, I'll pass on a good deal.
That's what I don't get.
Nobody.
Because if you're in that position, just go and see the application because it's so easy.
Oh, yeah.
And Sarah.
We talk about that in school. I was talking with some friends about this just the other day, that self-care isn't necessarily what we think it is. People think self-care is like a manicure and a pedicure.
I could not agree more.
Let's talk about that for a bit.
Yes.
I think this is a good subject,
What was your conversation? And then I'll weigh in on what I think.
So, I was talking with, I read it actually in the Marriage and Family Therapy magazine that I get monthly. And it was talking about the importance of mindfulness and mindfulness practices and how to incorporate that into your self-care routine. But before that, it talked about what self-care is and what it isn't. And in the article, it said, some self-care isn't always just, beauty treatments and getting massages and doing things. That self-care really are doing things that enhance your life. How sometimes people see self-care as things that distract you from your life. Whereas true self-care are doing things that enhance your life and support the life that you want to live, such as getting rid of toxic friends, taking a look at your bank accounts and where you might be spending more money than you should, going through and I don't know, whatever it is.
Absolutely. I feel like I'm at church.
Yeah.
And I'm hitting upon the same epiphany myself. And feeling that same thing of like, okay, if X, Y, and Z are problematic,
Yep.
deal with them. Don't go get a pedicure.
Absolutely. That is true self-care, is looking at the things in your life that aren't supporting the life that you want to live.
Yes.
And doing some, cleaning out or restructuring
though,
of that.
Is it so often that when people refer to self-care, especially like on TV, or like in magazines, it tends to talk about it in this very superficial way.
Yeah. I don't know. I wonder if it's that.
Maybe for some people that would,
and
okay.
I'm thinking about like the kind of person who is just like, okay, for me, for example, right now, I have not had a free hour or two in weeks, and I am dying for a pedicure so bad.
Yeah.
And for me, that absolutely is self-care because I have been go, and what I really need is some time to just have some
someone
time
take
for
care
myself.
of you.
Like not be moving, not be researching something or reading a book while I'm doing it. Just
to make you feel beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah.
And because it's like, and it's something that, is part, like, will make me feel good. But but also the reason why I haven't done it is because I've been able to recognize that there are other things that take priority right now that are more self-care for me. So like that's like my self-care item that's like 5th on the list, but maybe like number 1 is eating 3 meals a day. So instead of taking my lunch break to go get a pedicure, I have to take my lunch break to eat, like you should, so that self-care is getting met. So you kind of have to do like
it's hierarchical.
Yes.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah. And that's another thing is this is a lot about privilege too.
Totally.
But that's always what's bothered me about the self-care conversation is that it tends to talk about women like that's the thing that they're missing out on is like getting their nails done.
Yeah,
when it's often, especially with people with kids, I think what they're missing is an identity. It's like so much bigger than a hair appointment or something. Yeah. It's about like having their own time to like pursue their passion.
Totally.
And so for a lot of people who are just making ends meet, what am I going to do? Go take tango lessons?
Right.
Like that's not feasible.
Right.
But they have to find, I hope that they can find a way to satisfy that within their budget and all of that. Because if they don't, it will kill your spirit.
Absolutely. And you can look at everything you do across. I think it's really helpful to find out what self-care means to you and where you can like interject some into your life. It's really helpful to make a timeline of your week and even like really write down like what is it that you spend. I think the new update on the iPhone is so great.
Have you used it?
I love it more than anything. It logs your screen time. It lets you know where you're spending, like what website.
Where is it?
What, mine?
No, like on your phone.
Oh, so it's under settings. There's a section that says screen time, and then it'll break down that into like research, social media, like work and productivity. It'll tell you exactly how much time you spent on all the different social media apps and Twitter and Instagram and everything like that. And then it'll tell you how you compare to a national average of other users. So you can see like...
Now you're like competitive.
Oh, I am so competitive. I was down 24% of my screen time from this week to last week because I recognized that there were like my therapist calls them time thieves.
Yeah.
There are like little things that you have to like be aware of what the time thieves are, and for a lot of us, it is our phone.
I love, if you don't follow Alec Baldwin's wife, Hilaria Baldwin, she is a mother of 4 under the age of 5.
Whoa.
Looks like a friggin' playmate because she practices wellness.
She yoga instructor?
Yeah.
Yes, I have seen her. She really cares about meditation and mindfulness and all that.
And she does have help. She doesn't pretend like, oh, I'm just amazing. But she does these awesome videos called Found Time workouts.
Oh.
Where her kids are running around her and she's doing these things or in the bathroom and it's literally 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But she finds the time because everyone's like, I don't have time. Well, she's teaching.
My gosh.
I appreciate that she doesn't just do it. She wants to teach people how to do it themselves.
That's great.
It's really cool. Okay, I'm updating my phone.
Oh, great.
Because
I'm keep trying. I'm like, Landon, have you updated your phone? Landon, have you updated your phone? He won't. He like won't do it. Yeah, because it's really handy, and it'll show you and it'll just make you more aware. And the other thing that it does, which is so great, is you can set a time for your phone to shut off.
Yeah.
So my phone shuts off, and it says when I try to open up an app after that time, it'll say, you're at the end of your time limit for this for the day. Would you like to add 15 more minutes or ignore this limit for the day? And it'll do that for each app and every time you refresh a page. So you can't it'll remind you every 15 minutes. There's not falling into those holes of,
this is going to be very interesting for me because I have a problem with sleeping.
Same.
Do you?
I was staying up too long.
Oh, I wake up around 2 and I stay up for about 2 hours and I read books and I, tweet. And obviously this is extremely unhealthy.
Right. And also it's keeping you awake because you're staring at a screen, which is stimulating your brain to stay awake.
Well, I want to know if someone can reset it because in those 2 hours, I am the most creative. I come up with jokes, ideas, pitches, work stuff. I'm like, yeah. And then I usually get up around 5:30 for the day. Yeah. And I'm like, boy, I wish I felt the same now that I felt at 2.
Huh.
So I want someone to be like, here's how you reset.
Yeah.
So you have
that's an interesting one. That's often when I'm the most creative as well, but I just haven't gone to sleep yet. Right. And I just
But then I justify it because didn't Ben Franklin do that?
Yeah.
And they got up in the middle of the night for a minute.
Albert Einstein.
Yeah, see? Genius.
But he used to hold marbles in his hands, and he would fall asleep with marbles in his hands because as soon as they would drop, that space in between consciousness and unconsciousness is where the genius idea lives.
Yes.
Which is, okay.
I was just reading about that.
Full circle, the way to get to that state without having to go through all the sleep and all that is to practice meditation and mindfulness.
Yeah. Yes.
That is essentially clearing out your mind.
The other thing that's genius, though, is a face wash that actually improves acne and doesn't cost you an arm and a leg.
Amen.
BioClarity, the clear skin routine is what I use because I have breakout prone skin. I was sick of it, and I found this, which is super affordable when you compare it to those programs that are ridiculously priced.
Yeah.
But it's also using ingredients that are soothing. They don't cause irritation, but they effectively treat the problem. They also have an essentials routine if you have nice, normal skin. And they have clarifying mask that's a pore purifier. They have a hydrating mask known as the Glow Getter. It's delivered straight to you. It's easy to use, 3-step skincare routine, 100% vegan. I could go on and on. Get started on your healthier habits with your skincare. Just go to bioclarity.com. Our listeners get the first month for 50% off a routine, plus shipping is free, and it comes with 100% risk-free money-back guarantee. But you need to enter our code BRAINCANDY. That's bioclarity.com and enter code BRAINCANDY. I have heard that about the Genius, thing where they use that weird time, wake, sleep in between.
Yep.
And there was an article in Atlantic about it. God damn, you are weird. What? Here's what I said to Adam. What? This is my theory.
Oh.
I think you're turning into your mom.
Probably a little.
Like the 2.0 version.
Yeah.
And this is your way of being like that and in touch with spirituality, but cooler. And not divorcing yourself from science.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if you had to define your witchiness, is it, because it's not like you're saying you have magical powers exactly. You're saying you have human powers that you're going to tap into, that anyone can tap into.
Yes. And I think why I had to is because I saw what was happening to me with clients in the clinic.
What? Tell me.
I have I know what they're going to say. like I have a deep understanding, and it's almost like they're sitting across from me, and I can see their whole, like,
countenance change,
like everything around them. Like I can see the context in which they. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
But is it only in the room, or is it like right now with me too?
No, I think it's in the room because there's no distractions. I'm really tapped into them. I'm not concerned about anything in I'm not bringing any of my own stuff in there. Like it really is just me tuned in to another person in like the deepest way for a significant amount of time. And it was more like I could feel them. Like I could. And if somebody was talking to me about, somebody in their family struggling with or somebody's sick, like I would feel it in that same place in my body that they were sick. If they're talking about an injury in a certain place, I could like almost where in the body that was because I could feel it. And like it's very difficult to explain. And then I had a night where I was just like kind of doing like a mindfulness practice and meditating, and it was like something told me, oh, like, like all this witchy stuff that you're so scared of, all this like psychic stuff that your mom talks about that you're scared of, like, just so you know, that little voice in the back of your head, that's it. Like, that's it. And that's like, it's not as scary as you think it is. And it's just like an intuition kind of. It's like an intuition that's like turned up a bit. And I was always scared that like, oh my God, I don't want to see anything. I don't want to like hear voices. I don't want to like, what if I'm schizophrenic? I don't want any of that. And then I just realized that like, it's always been there and it's always existed. And I think when we had did our episode where you talked about the psychics and the schizophrenics and how it's their own voice, I was like, oh, I have that voice. Should I listen to that voice? And then when I started listening to it, I was like, oh my God, that's exactly what my client. And then when I would say the things that that internal voice was telling me, that's my voice. I totally am aware that it's like my voice. It's just like, I know it. Like, and I'll say, could it be this? And they're like, oh my God, that's exactly right. And I was like, oh my God, that voice is dead on. So I think that's it. And then the hardest thing for me was like cutting that at the end. Like I would go home and I would just like cry, or I would be like overcome with the emotion, and I knew it wasn't mine. It was like theirs. So I had to come up with like, and I kept talking to people in my field, people who were doctors, people who are like supervisors about this feeling. And they tell me, oh yeah, you got to do some kind of ritual, like maybe get some sage or maybe, and like they're giving me, people who are in the sciencey world are giving me advice to use some of these very like kind of, more spiritual tools. Like, oh, you should, I had one woman who came and was a professor, and I was sharing all this with her, and she was like, you just need to I know it sounds weird, but you need to get some crystals, and you need to do, and I was like, oh my God, that's exactly what my mom says. And maybe they're right.
Well, it's funny that you bring that up and also talked about self-care, because we had on the show a few weeks ago that Marley Grace,
yes,
she has the book out called How to Not Always Be Working. And I made a mistake in airing it a few weeks ago because it doesn't actually come out until tomorrow, October 23rd, 2018. So I told them I'd remind you guys so that, I mean, if you pre-ordered, then you're all set. But, if you're still interested in the book, it's great because it's what Sarah is talking about. It's this idea of like, it's not the crystals or the sage or like even your phone that matters. It's like what they represent or what they can provide or take away from your life. And it's a matter of figuring out for you what is enhancing your life and what is not. And then also making time, like if you work at home, there's sometimes you don't know when am I working? When am I just hanging out with my family? And then you feel guilty if you're not working. It's weird. So you have to like divide.
Create like a transition routine, like something that we say this to clients all the time too.
Well, and that's why I got in the habit of having a glass of wine with dinner, because that to me signaled like this is, but you have to have something else because that, you want it to be more like a healthy ritual.
Like, I think it's great for people who go straight from the office to sitting in traffic to coming home and making dinner and do all that. Like, you need something in there, or else it's too much. You need a break. You need to stop.
Well, your body just doesn't know what's happening.
Doesn't know. So I think having a song is really good. There's a great song called Weightlessness by Marconi something, but it is the song that's been proven to be the most it reduces stress and reduces anxiety and depression at like a crazy.
What's it called?
It's called Weightless by Marconi something.
Is it
I'll look
wordless?
it up right now.
Like
it's wordless,
just
and
instrumental.
it is instrumental. I keep it on my on my playlist all the time so I can play it. Like I played it before I go to session. It's very interesting. Like they even say that women have a stronger response to this song than men do too, and I don't know what that's about. But so I played it. It's by Marconi Union, Marconi Union, and it's kind of like this ambient song, and it has a consistent beat that almost sounds like a heartbeat.
Oh, so it's like meditating.
Yeah. But then there's no real, like, you can't follow it.
Yeah.
And that's one of the key features of it, is that it really trains your brain to relax because your brain can't just go into autopilot. Mm-hmm. It freaking works. And so this song is a great one. But anything, even if it's like Call Me Al, who cares? Just listen to something.
That's what you want it to be.
Right. So bad. But like listen to something before you start your drive home. Like take a moment, close your eyes, like do a little body scan while you're sitting in the car. Like that's a really great, quick 2-minute mindfulness activity.
My friend Pema, who's the Buddhist monk from Sri Lanka, he talked about that a lot, that the body is always in the present.
Yes.
And so if you can just focus on your body, you're halfway there. And he would talk a lot about when you're in your car. If you choose, you could turn off all the distractions.
Except the Brain Candy podcast.
Right. And you can just be with your body.
Yeah.
And that way it's safe driving and achieving that mindful approach.
Oh, that's a good place to do it, too.
I appreciate that he could even think of that because that guy, like, he is a full we're talking monk.
Yeah.
And, like, he was getting his PhD. He's brilliant, but he's not exactly, like, one of us. He lives a very different life, but he knew how to connect with the way we operate and how to, like, undo that.
Yeah.
But any hoodles, that's all for now.
Oh, look into the body scan meditation, people. Enjoy. And leave us a 5-star review afterwards.
That's a part of your self-care prescription.
Yes.
And good day.